For another 45 minutes, I wanted to bring some other entrepreneurs that inspired me that are local. So our first guest today is a man named Shaheen. You can come on out here. So the reason why, and they're each going to have a chance to talk a little bit about what they do or whatever, but I'm going to tell the story, the reason why I wanted him to be here today. So back before I started Movers and Shakers, I woke up one day and I was like, I want a truck. I want like a SUV. I want to wrap it and different things like that or whatever. So I think I posted it. Remember I said I posted on Facebook and I started making things happen or whatever. And he was one of the first people to help me get that SUV. It started out as a white Tahoe and we got it. And then I was like, all right, now I need to wrap it. So I tried to do another fundraiser to get the wrapping done or whatever. And again, he stepped up and helped make that happen. And that's why you see the Versa Business System logo all over both of my trucks or whatever. So give him a round of applause for that.
I didn't know it was white. Honestly, I thought it was always black.
He also didn't know, I don't think he knew how, I'm not sure if the right word is detrimental, but how important that help was to the growth of this entire organization. Because everybody seen me driving an SUV around. It was me. The SUV turned into the box truck, and then we'll turn into multiple box trucks. But that then got people back and forth to all over the place. So I appreciate it, and that's the reason why I wanted you to be here.
Thank you for having me, man.
I'm going to ask them to tell a little bit about themselves in a second. But next, I'm going to bring out my next guest with an S, Tony and Ashley from Collision Course. I never see Ashley dressed up. I always see her in an apron or something.
It's a fact.
She's not wrong.
So she's a little nervous. She don't know what I'm going to say, like most of my friends. The reason why they're here is we started this grind at the same exact time. The same meetings I was going to, trying to learn people and get to know what was going on, whatever, they were there. You know what I'm saying? And them being an interracial couple like mine, we just automatically connected. There's not many of us that have relationships where we're both running and owning businesses or whatever. So everything about their lifestyle, their come up, their struggles, we relate. You know what I'm saying? But we also, because we're so close, we go through a lot of stuff together. So I don't know if they knew how important they have been to the group of Find Your Purpose, Movers and Shakers, and Wisdom Court, because they support all of my services. You know what I'm saying? Actually, probably one of my biggest supporters. And we are partners with a collective that we have where it's a bunch of small businesses in Westminster. And we do like the back to school drives, the Easter egg hunts, the Christmas shop. They're part of that. You know what I'm saying? So give it up again for Collision. Can you tell me tell the audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Shaheen Masloum, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I love businesses, so my company actually helps businesses grow and save money. We have a business consulting firm called Versa Business Systems. I've got the Versa Business Tips podcast, where we give free advice for aspiring entrepreneurs and businesses on how they can grow. More recently, I started a group to help entrepreneurs actually on the eastern shore of Maryland, Delaware, Virginia, work more on collaboration rather than competition. Down there, it's a lot of old way thinking where everybody should be competing, and so I'm trying to change that.
So we own Collision Course. It's a food operation, but I think we starting off just knew that we just wanted to be such a big part of the community in whatever aspect that seemed like. And then just something that Shaheen said, competition, right? I think that's such an old way of thinking about small business and what we do. And that our biggest motto is
Community over competition.
Community over competition.
Yeah, every time.
And my wife has such a great quote that she uses.
I do.
Rising tides.
Oh, a rising tide lifts all boats. A rising tide lifts all boats. A rising tide lifts all ships. If one person's on the come up, we can bring everybody else up with us. There's plenty of room at the top for all of us.
Yeah, so whatever we've been through, whatever walks we've been through, whatever struggles we've had, is something in us to just want to just get back and just give that information back to people who are in the same walks that we're doing. Not even the same industry, just in the same walks. Just making sure that they understand what they're doing.
So I normally talk, right? And I have my girl, I got this. Oh, I want to hear from you, Ashley.
You want to hear from me?
I really would like to hear.
Who am I? I am Tony's wife. I came up in the food industry, right? We met in a restaurant. So when we finally got together and realized, like, all right, I guess I'm on marry this guy. He knew at that time that he wanted to be an owner. We knew that that was the route, right? And so it was a 5-year plan, but then that turned into a 10-year plan because money doesn't grow on trees. And I had been on a management track early on, but then we found out we were having our son, and you can't have 2 restaurant manager parents, but spoiler alert, you can have 2 owner parents. So I pretty much focused on taking care of the kids and being at home, and I was serving and bartending part-time. And so this step was the natural step for us. It was like, he's going to go into ownership, and I know the industry inside out. And you always said that it took a special kind of partner to understand what he was doing when he was a restaurant manager, because it's an incredible amount of hours. So I do think that we've been well suited for this position, just for the amount of hours that it does take. We were prepared for that walking into it.
That's awesome. So before they came, I asked Facebook some questions that we could ask them today or whatever. So we're going to start. So the first question I got was, is the path to success more about what you know or who you know, or both? What's up?
So it's definitely both. You can't know nothing, you know what I mean? But I would say who you know is far more important. You can learn anything now on the internet, right? You need a quick rundown on something, you can pull up a video or whatever and find out, or just ask ChatGPT. I ask ChatGPT everything.
I have a relationship with ChatGPT.
100%. I talk to them more than anybody. Exactly. So nowadays, I think it's really who there's so much value in networking with different types of people that are better at things than you. I think that's a super important thing too, is to network with people that know more than you, that have made more than you, that maybe they're funnier than you, whatever. But if they're better than you at certain things, they're only going to make you better. So I would say it's more important who you know, but you got to know a little something.
I would say similar, more about what, especially in our industry. I think a lot of people see our industry in the restaurant business and think that it's easy. It is far from that. But that really is a lot of what we know, right? I've been in this industry since I was 16 years old or something like that. There's a couple people in this room right now who've known me since I started and I was serving, probably even before serving, a couple people in this room. So I really immersed myself in knowing about the business and how to run the business, knowing what it would take, to bring people in, the food, the atmosphere. I really paid attention to it when I was in the corporate world. On the other side of it, it is as well. What can they help you out with? Because I don't know everything, we don't know everything, and we have to rely on people who know a little bit more than we do, right, to be successful. And right, that's where our egos get dropped. You know what I mean? And we realize that, right, the business, and our family is the thing that we really, really want. You know what I mean? Like, just so that path to success is right. It's a little bit for me. I think it's a little bit what.
I agree, but also with our specific restaurant, and I mean, I guess this is arguable for any small restaurant that would be starting. Our people are really an integral part of our success. And we have people who've been with us since day one. We met them in the restaurant industry and they immediately were like, yes, we're coming with you. And those people we rely on heavily. And there's this great idea of you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. You just have to know who it is. Yeah. And I 100% live by that. I can't tell you how many days I'm sitting at the bar trying to figure out something. And I go, guys, what do you think about this? It's not that I don't have the answer, but their idea of what the answer is so important to me because most likely it's the right one.
She normally calls me.
What's the biggest challenge in the restaurant business?
Maintaining what you have.
No,
we're gonna have different opinions on this. We have different answers. Go ahead.
No, I think it is right. Staying fresh. Right, we work with people. People are creatures of habit, right? And also, yes, perfect. That's literally what I was looking for. Unpredictable.
People in.
Yeah. Right, for me, I think it is right. Just making sure, right, the consistency has to stay there, right? But right, and then the innovation, right, still has to come in there at some point as well. Right, I can't keep just doing the same thing because people will just get stale for that. So I have to make sure that I'm right, just reinvigorating my customer base and specials and different things I'm doing and different ways that we approach social media or digital content and stuff like that. So
It was just straight up going to be profit margins, but what do I know?
Well, one of the reasons, so you guys are a couple working together in a business. My wife and I did it for 15 years. And,
Kudos to you.
Yes. And I can tell you, when I was hired by the state's attorney's office in 2015, she was the happiest person in the world. And I was no longer. And people don't, everybody doesn't know this, but I'm actually the florist. I'm the one that taught her how to do the flowers. But our partnership is kind of similar to what your wife has, is what my wife had. She's a bookkeeper. And if it weren't for her taking care of the tax, because I'd be like, let's just pay them later. We have never missed our sales. We've never missed any tax payments because of my wife, because she's on point that way. So having that relationship together, knowing who's stronger and what is huge.
You got to separate. I think that when we first started, we didn't have a lot of that, of who was going to take on what. I think as we have progressed in our business and what we're doing, I think it is more of I'm going to stay out of what you're doing, and she's going to stay out of what I'm doing, but we're going to communicate what we're doing to each other so we stay on the same page. But social media, that's not me. Hey guys, if you hear me, social media, I go rogue. Hey look, I go rogue. That's what I do. If you guys see me go rogue, that's what I do. That's my social media. But for the most part, is actually, if somebody's responding to you on social media, it's probably actually not me. I'm probably whipping up a cake or some collard greens or something in the back. But the balance is huge, especially when you're working with your significant other.
How about when you get home? One of you talk about business still at home?
Sometimes we have to shut it down. Sometimes.
We might start fighting right here.
Yeah.
No, I think that that's a balance, right? So it's something that we're still learning, especially if I've been home and he'll come home and he needs to get something out. But I was just thinking about it this morning. We have to have a no business in the bedroom rule. Once you've entered the bedroom space, that is the sacred space. We don't talk about the restaurant. We don't own a restaurant in this space, right? There's mom and dad, and we can talk about the kids and family, but that's it. That's what it needs to be. And you have to set those boundaries. The other thing that I wanted to add on to what he said before is, yes, you have your role in your business. Everyone has their lane, right? He stays in his lane, I stay in my lane. However, that lane is not always going to be the same. It's not linear necessarily, because sometimes I have to hand things over to him. He has to hand things over to me. Maybe all of my responsibilities suddenly got heavier. And so maybe, for example, he had to pick up catering because I was falling back with being able to communicate on time or getting things organized or whatever. So he takes something over that I had been taking over before. So that is not always going to be a permanent thing, and you have to be able to be flexible and know when it's time to change that up a little bit.
And the same thing in our house. I don't like answering emails, signing contract, doing any of that. So she does all that. But it's a good balance, and she'll yell at me because I wait until last minute to do everything. But we get it done. Our next question is, you got something?
I'm holding her back. It's fine.
Was there a point where you almost gave up, but something changed your mind? If so, what or who gave you that hustle back? How did Stella get her groove back?
A point, if you're an entrepreneur, if you've been an entrepreneur for a while, there's multiple points. There could be multiple points in a week. It's a constant struggle, right? You're constantly, man, what am I doing? It'd just be easier to maybe get a job or, yeah, exactly. So it's a constant battle, but a big one for me, my wife, she reminds me who I am when I get feeling like that. Because the thing is, with being an entrepreneur, things can be going amazing, and all of a sudden one thing can throw everything out of whack. Next thing, you're down to your last penny, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to make payroll on Friday. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks later, you could have $2 million in a bank account. Like, just things change. I'm just giving an example, right?
It's exaggerating.
It can change so rapidly. Any business that you're in. I've been with my wife for most of the time that I've had this business. But a big one has been her reminding me, like, you know, who you are. Like, forget who you are. Don't forget how you got here. You know what I mean? Like, got here, you know how to get out of whatever situation you're in because you've done it, right? You've been here before, and you'll probably be here again, right? It's just the way things go, right? I think entrepreneurs just got to remember who they are, look themselves in the mirror, and put their boots on and get to work.
September of 2022.
I was about to say the same
I
thing.
mean,
Ugh.
I like
Yeah,
so
no, that was-
viscerally,
it was
like
good.
remember the
I'm
moment.
the same.
Yeah, remember the moment we were in our, like when I think of it in my head, it plays back like a movie. We were in our dining room and we looked at each other and we had just lost the Carol Biz challenge. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Hey, I lost it too.
Yeah, okay. No, we had lost and it was not, it hit us hard, but by the time we're doing pop-ups at River Downs, we were just trying to get by. And we had just gotten the word that our electric work was gonna take about $26,000 and we originally allotted between 6 and 10. It's worth mentioning,
It was between.
Between,
Because
yeah,
if
it's an
they were
estimate,
just having to do that, it was gonna be 50 or 60
Right.
grand.
And
I remember that.
yeah, in that moment, he looked at me and it was like we had used $20,000 of our own money. That's all we started with. And I feel confident saying that now because like it's a ridiculously small number for this industry. For us to be where we are right now and have when we started with 20 grand, I always make a joke. There's a very difference. There's Ashley's personal life, $20,000, and Ashley's business life, $20,000. And that is a very different quantity of money, depending on which perspective we're looking at. But I looked at him, he was like devastated because this is like Tony has always wanted. I was supporting him and supporting this dream, and I was well placed to do so because I know the industry. But I looked at him and I was like, if we quit now, we just blew $20,000 for nothing. We're right there. And the next day, 2 days later, we got a call from people who were trying to buy River Downs asking us if we would move into the kitchen there and take over food operations. And that's what started our brunch at River Downs. So there had that one moment that stands out for me, but I fought hard for him not to quit because he was ready to walk. At that
No,
point.
that was the moment. And I looked at her and I was like, I need to go and get my corporate job back making $70,000 a year. Restaurant management, because I was, like my skill set had, to that point. And she looked at me and said, if you stop right now, if you go and get this job and go and do this collision course is over.
I did say that.
She said collision course is over. There's no more because you're going to be focused on that 70 hours a week. You have no time to do this part of it because I'm thinking on weekends and on days off, I can still go and do pop-up or something. And she's like, no, how's that going to work? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be bone tired. And I was a line in the sand for us. So are we going to do this? Are we really going to like put our foot in the ground, take off and grind? And I think that is probably what changed it. Grinded harder after that point. So
Yeah, I've felt multiple times of the highs and lows, even recently.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
same.
it's like,
Trust me,
same.
same.
just this December, I had a situation. I was like, okay.
Yep.
Same thing. I couldn't eat out. My family's like, yeah, we gotta just pull out of it. So we pulled out of it. And, we're straight.
So the short
I didn't
answer
have
to
a
that
Dollar
question
Tree
is
for a minute.
wife.
Okay, everybody keeps saying wife. I haven't got married yet.
This is the time. Where's the ring? Get on the knee. Let's go. I know.
My next question. Moving on.
If you like it, you should put a
How did
ring
you
on.
avoid letting friends or family hold you back from pursuing your dreams? And who was the boldest network connection to help you push forward?
I think you said it when you were in there, right? Either you're coming with me or I'm leaving you behind.
Yeah.
And like there can't be any like in that, right? Because you know where you have to go, right? And if your people are behind me, you know what I mean? And we see that with you all the time, like at the back of the room, right? My boys too, you know what I mean? Like I've come to appreciate your guys and really appreciate your crew as well, like just for the people that they are. But that is, you got it.
Yeah. At the end of the day, nobody that's ever been doing better than me has ever tried to talk me out of doing what I'm doing. That was one. Like I had family, friends. Why don't you just do this? Or is it better to have a steady paycheck? Or none of them were ever doing better than me. So I was just, why do I need to listen to their advice? And my mindset has always been, don't take advice from anybody that's not doing better than you. And my uncle told me that when I was 6 or 7 years old, and it just stuck with me. And I was like in college, working full time in sales for Verizon, making like $1,000 a year. And I asked my dad how old he was when he started making $100,000. And it was like in his 40s or something. And so then a few weeks later, it went down and things were tough. He's like, why don't you just get a job? I dropped out of college a few months later and went full time into sales and never looked back, But yeah, at the end of the day, like, know what you're capable of, you can do. You're gonna get down on yourself sometimes, but you just remember who you are and keep pushing. Like I don't know if it's ego, but like I can't let me down. You know what I mean? Like I know what I want out of life, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure I get it.
Oh, that person for me was you, by the way. The influence. Yeah, like I don't know if you remember, but it was we met or not met because we've known each other for a long time. But
we connected in front of Jeannie Bird.
Yeah, Jeannie Birds, and then we came to the first Easter egg hunt in Westminster, and then we did the backpack drive. Right, we came to that one, and I just remember looking at you because your dad was on the grill, and I just remember looking at you and just being like, "What can I do? Like, how can I do something? Can I just come and like just man the grills for you? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? That I can do." But then we just started talking, and I just started seeing how you were moving and like you were doing. And like it was something that both of us wanted to do, like bass, and it was just like, oh, we found the thing that we
Might have
need
an
to do.
emotional minute.
5 emotional minutes, and then you need to give her extra shit.
I know you already had your 5 minutes.
But for me, like at that point, it was just like we got to grind. Like this is like, who are we doing to do this together? You know what I mean? And how can we support you guys? How can we just be there? With
And we feel the same exact way, and that's why we always do everything together.
It's literally sometimes like, hey, I don't know, hey, we haven't talked in a while. What are we doing? Like,
Or I get a call, I look at my phone, is this Billy? He's like, what do you think about kickball? I'm like, yeah. Just let me know a date for planning. Okay,
Everybody says yes to everything I call for. I don't know why. Yes.
Yeah, adult prom, yes,
Sure,
absolutely.
sounds great. I'm in. What are we gonna do? We'll talk about it.
I'm gonna do Jello wrestling actually.
Okay, that one I'm gonna say no. I'm out. You lost me on that one.
I got one more question that I want to ask you guys, and then we're going to put it to the audience. So I'm going to give you a couple minutes to think about some questions that y'all can ask. But this one is, how many did you take before you got your first win? You don't got to put a number on it, but just in general, how long did it take before you got your first
It
win?
was up until September of 22 when we got Riverdowns. That was the first win, but I feel like everything before that, right? The Biz Challenge was huge.
We're mad about the Biz Challenge if y'all ain't know.
You know what it is?
You know what's a full circle moment? I'm actually a judge for the Biz Challenge.
Oh my gosh, Botanic Gal, she's doing so well, and we love Hannah. Like, of our class specifically, I can't speak of any others, but our class is an extremely successful class. Top 5 challengers, there's only one I don't know where he is now. It was some medical company, but it was Gooseridge Soaps, it was Selmer Ironworks, it was us, and it was Hannah from Botanic Gal. Like, I say that we are all killing it. Like,
Well, I'm not going to say no names in my situation. The purpose is still here.
I would say we took so many losses. Downs was the first win, but for us, it's been such a journey of like a win and then, good Lord, getting kicked while you're down just over and over and over. And then right when you're about to give up, the next thing comes. I would say that maybe we've had less of those in the last year, but you're smiling. You're same. Yeah. Hi, man. You're like, I am doing great. And then you are not doing great. It is.
And
Yeah.
vice versa, you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna survive.
Yeah.
You're gonna survive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you?
Like, try to celebrate the smallest win. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like had a great interview today, or I had either I've got their first deal or whatever. You know, really how you define a win versus a loss.